A natural med isn't just a substance you take. It is a lifestyle that one lives to amplify their health. We don't always choose how long we will be on this planet, but we can take action on the quality of life that we wish to enjoy.
The Natural Med podcast interviews different professionals and experts who look at improving the quality of health so they can live a more fulfilling life. Whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, or spiritually, we discover the secrets to their own journey and the small steps individuals can take on a daily basis to improve the quality of their life. Come with me as we travel, research, and discover how we can make incremental changes on a daily basis to live a more fulfilled and balanced life.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Natural Med podcast. For all of those who are listening and watching, hello. I want to introduce our friend of the store and just friend all around, Gina Schaefer. She's here today. We're very excited about this opportunity that we get to talk with her, and I'm going to let her tell you about herself.
Welcome, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm not sure which camera to look at.
You just look at
Wherever.
Okay.
anybody.
And I have been practicing my radio voice, so hopefully it's coming over nicely.
It sounds very sexy.
I am a friend of the store, and before I get into myself, I'd love to just talk about them. For people who are learning about Lone Star for the first time, I met Josh 8 years ago. That's a long time. And then through Josh, knowing Nicole and having them in my life has changed my life in so many ways. I can't even write it down or describe it. It's just been such a life-changing experience for me. And then I'm maybe lucky or unlucky to also know Nathan. I'm not paid to say that. That's all heart right there. But I'm Gina. I am a financial consultant at a major firm, and I've just recently, it's been about 2 years or so, wanting to do something more. I got divorced about 4 years ago, and I didn't want to fight over money, so I knew I needed to do something independent on my own. I became a financial consultant with the help of Josh, changed my life. Quickly, learned the business, took all the tests, got all the exams, moved my way around, and just wanted to give back more. Over that time of, getting divorced and just figuring out who I am, I learned that I have so much more to give than what I've been giving. So I love my job. And then on the side, I've just built a business to help bring together the mind versus the brain. And I've written a book. And I'm really excited about my book. It's really just the first book, but it is meant to help people who need redirection. Sometimes life gets messy quick. Life gets off track quick, and we're going really quick, and we're going somewhere, but we don't know where we're going, and we stop and we look back and we're like, what happened? So my book is meant to be a review of your life, the 7 different pillars of where you need to balance, and to focus on the ones that are maybe off balance now, and you focus on them for a month or 2 months or a year. You read the book again, you go to the next pillar, and so it's just those little steps of getting life in balance. And that's my story. There's more to it, but that's all I have breath for right now.
That's awesome. And what is your book called for listeners?
It's called Use Your Brain. So
Awesome.
It's the Reinvent Your Life, but Use Your Brain. It is the direction of how to reinvent your life, but using your brain to help you. There's systems in the brain that really are meant to give us a good life. It's all in there, and it talks about, being around the positive influence because you have mirror neurons that are going to want to mirror what you're around. So you want to make sure you're around good, positive, moving people. There's a reticular activating system in your brain that's going to find, what you tell it to find. So you want to make sure that you're very specific with your goals and that they're good goals and that you actually want them, because your brain's going to find it. In the similar sense, your brain will find the things that you don't want. If you're continually talking about, this is bad and this is bad and, I don't want this and my life is bad here, it's going to keep finding those things. So I can't give it away because you got to buy the book, but little things like that about how we can use our brain to really give us a good, fulfilling life.
That's awesome. I like that you talk about like the 7 pillars of health, like that's mentioned in your book. I've started to read your book. It's very interesting. I love it. And I love how you kind of build that foundation with the 7 pillars of health, because we talk about that on the podcast. Like, a healthy life, it has to be balanced. There's different pillars of your foundation. And, with your mental health, if your mental health is not healthy, then that affects your physical health. It's crazy how that works, but it's so true. And I know you talk about balance and everything in your book. So kind of tell us a little bit about that, why balance is so important.
I would even say, people may not like this, but I'm going to say it because I say things boldly people don't like. The brain
Really?
It's a quality I can't get rid of. The brain is the most important. If you focus on your mental health, everything else will fall into place. If you focus on giving it good nutrition, getting it good sleep, thinking good thoughts, you'll have a healthier body, because in order for you to have a good, healthy brain and mental health, you have to eat well. You have to rest. You have to sleep well. And then, of course, some of us, I have Lyme disease. I've had Lyme disease for over 20 years. And then a few other lovely things that have come as I age. All those obstacles are really just obstacles. They're not stopping points, but if you focus on, okay, how do I get this good in my brain, which is how I got introduced to the CBD, totally changed my life. Then your health gets better. You focus on sleep. So part of my book, I believe it's chapter 2, talks about the 7 pillars, what they are. And I say grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in each area, and focus on the ones that are less than 5. Because, if I'm good at, if my professional life is great, and I want to focus there because it's great.
Yeah.
But if my relationship with my family is not good, or if my social interactions are not good, I want to focus there because they're harder. So it's more important to get the areas that are on the low part of the scale up to a 5 or a 6, more important to focus there. It's also harder to focus there because you might need to see a therapist. You might need to see a doctor. Like you need to change your life. And, you need to just change your routines. You need to change your beliefs. And it's hard to do that. But having the big picture, here's the important areas. I'm recognizing these are the areas, these 2 or 3 that I need help on. I'm hoping will haunt people's minds when they don't do it. Like, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to, maybe it's job. I mean, having a bad financial situation it's hard. It's hard to get out of, and it's awful to be in. I've been there. I was married for about 11 years, and we didn't have any money, and it's hard, and it puts a lot of strain on marriages. So, people will say it's not all about money, and it's not, but you don't want to be in a place to not be able to pay for what you need to live. And if it means you just focus on that area for a year or even 2 years, that's my objective of the book. Like, let me show you where you need to focus, and then you just need to focus there. Yeah. And then I have routines of, a morning routine, an evening routine, things that I recommend that work. And I'm not the one who creates these. They're just common practices for having a successful routine life that, yeah.
So I got a question for you. And by the way, I read your book. I read it today, and for our listeners and viewers, it is a very quick read. However, there is a wealth of information in there. So, albeit it's quick, you're going to have to go back and look at it again and just, kind of just digest all of that. it was like drinking water from a fire hydrant. There's a lot of information coming at you. It's all great information. But the question I have is, so I was looking in chapters 2, 3, and 4. A lot of that resonated with me, and I felt to myself, there's so many areas here that I feel like I'm on that step, like chapter 2 talks about decluttering, and then chapter 3 talks about, setting goals and writing it down. Chapter 4 kind of, branches off more on the setting goals and really seeing stuff manifest and things like that. And I thought, you know what, I'm here and I'm here and I'm here. Do you find it, as you were doing your research for your book and as you've talked to people, do you find that a lot of people are on several different parts of this journey rather than just being stuck on one?
Oh, yeah. And that's the fun part about the balance is, you're never done. You're never done. You're hopefully always improving, but never done. You declutter one year and then all of a sudden the next year it's like, where did I get all this stuff from? Yeah. You set goals and then life just goes, and that's just how life is. My purpose for writing it would be that, you can read the whole thing. It's really quick. I think it was 75 pages after it got reformatted, and then go back in and read, one chapter a day or one section a day for about a week, and then set your goals for the year. It's just like little baby goals. Don't try to accomplish something crazy. Make just obtainable goals.
Yeah.
Like little baby steps. And then all of a sudden you look back, and it would be great if a person would write notes and look back on it the next year and say, wow, I was struggling there last year, but this is my strength now.
Yeah.
And that's something that I need to do better of. I move so fast forward that I often don't look back to see like how much I've changed.
Yeah.
But we need that. Otherwise, we just feel like we're always moving forward. It's actually nice to have Facebook sort of remind you your posts from the last few years. And you look back and you're like, gosh, I was such a baby back then. Like, baby little Gina and doing baby little immature stuff. I'm such an adult now.
Yeah.
But,
I was going to say but yeah, it's good to have those goals and writing them down, putting them on paper or posting them somewhere where you can see.
Yeah.
'Cause life does change, one year may be totally different from the next, and you may be conquering some of the pillars in your life, and then the next year, like, oh, well, there's new pillars I got to kind of work on this year, and it's just how life is and everything. It's definitely changing. But yes, I do see your book as like a good tool, to use to kind of help guide you, to kind of refocus on those different pillars of your health and pillars of life and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the health is important too. So finances are important, yes, just so that you can, take care of the things that you need to take care of. But the health is really important. It is so important what you eat, what you don't eat, that you're drinking. I sort of share my story, I suppose. Sorry for everybody on camera watching me fidget with this thing here, but I'm a fidgeter. I got Lyme disease when I was 17, I believe. And back then they didn't know, nobody knew what it really was. I had all the symptoms, and then it got into my brain. And then half of my face went numb, and I thought, oh gosh, I should go to the doctor.
Wow.
And so from there, it turned into neuro-Lyme, and it just destroyed my body. And taking the antibiotics that the doctors give you this intense antibiotic for years, and it was horrible. But it changed my view on what I'm putting into my body, and real medicines off of the real planet that are better for you than medicines are important sometimes. Sometimes you need the antibiotic just to kick its butt, but you don't stay there. You take it, same thing like if somebody gets sick. Sometimes you do need to go to the doctor and get that really big, strong shot of medicine, but then you get back to a normal, healthy life and you eat real foods. There's a gut-brain connection that I talk about in the book also. It's really important. What you eat gives nutrients or lack of nutrients to your brain, and it will make you happy or make you depressed. I learned over these years that I can't drink alcohol because it just makes me depressed, and it's not worth it. Besides getting a hangover, is awful when you're older, but there's these little things that you have to change when you get older, and it's really important what we eat and what we drink, which goes into my experience with CBD. Can I jump to that now?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm so excited to talk about that part because
I know we're in a CBD store, so you can't help but to talk about CBD. So
oh gosh, I wish that I knew about it earlier. But things happen in the time they're supposed to happen, I suppose. Let's see, where do I start? So I got divorced about 4 years ago. That's just a stress in your body of figuring out. That's a tragedy. I mean, nobody gets married to get divorced. So it's tragedy for everybody in the family. And trying to figure out how to get on my feet, how to financially get on my feet, how am I going to, live as a single person, a single mom, all these responsibilities. And, things came into place as they were supposed to. And then I ended up growing tumors on my ovaries. So I'm like, okay, I need one more thing to happen. So that happened, and that makes your hormones all crazy. I had to get those removed. And there's all sorts of crazy stuff that happened. And my body got out of whack. Like, just my body went from where I had it as healthy to just like, my Lyme shot back up. And it was bad. It was really bad. I came in to see you a bunch of times, and I remember I was so bad. I mean, besides just the inflammation in my brain and the inflammation everywhere, my joints, my depression got bad. And I remember talking to you sometimes like, it's not good. Like, it's just bad. And I sat on the couch and, you would ask, how are you doing? I'm like, it's bad. It's just not good. And I would try the different CBDs, different spectrums, and I would try it for the whole bottle, the whole month, because you got to give those things time, and they worked well. But what I needed was stronger. It was just really bad. And it's hard to describe it. Anybody who knows what neuroinflammation is, I think knows. You play it off at work and at home like everything's fine, but it was not fine. And so finally, I was afraid to do the Delta 8 because I have a lot of responsibility that I want to be responsible for. And I was afraid to put, these are the things I thought, but I'll tell you that they're not that now. But I was afraid to put my mind in a state that made me unresponsible for my kids, or if something were to happen, But I came in and I was like, I just need some, or I think I was maybe with you guys, or I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, I need something more. Like, I just need something more. I can't function. I need to get out of what's happening here. And I tried the that Pinnacle, I think that was the first one, Delta 8, and so I took it before bed, and it made me laugh. It made me go to sleep, and I woke up, and I felt like my whole body took a vacation. And I woke up, and I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? Nothing crazy, nothing, And then I did that for about 3 months, maybe. All the inflammation in my body was gone. The neuroinflammation was gone. Wow. Depression was gone. Anxiety was gone. There was even sometimes prior to that where, depending on what I ate, I would lay in my bed and cry because my inflammation in my joints was all the big joints, like the hip joints. It was so bad. And it was just gone.
Wow.
And I was like, everybody needs to know about this. They think, weed, and people think, hippies, or I don't know what people think.
Yeah.
But
like, you're going to be an unproductive stoner if you take in marijuana.
Yeah. Like,
it's a very.
Yeah. And many people are like that, but I was afraid to be, I had a lot of responsibilities.
Josh is raising his hand for all those of you that can't see him.
And we can't wait until you can.
So I just wanted to share my stories more on the responsible side. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was me looking for something to fix what was happening in my body so I could be more productive. And I am so much more productive. I changed a few other things. I stopped drinking coffee. I drink warm lime water in the morning. I flush my body out with this. I drink about 32 ounces of water, and it's got like a green powder in it and electrolytes. I'm changing.
Is it Athletic Greens?
It's not yet.
it's very popular right now. So
no, not yet. But that Delta 8 CBD, and I stopped taking it because I felt like my body was good, and if I need to go back on, I will. But I got good sleep. I wake up, I have tons of energy. There's no more depression. There's no more anxiety. It's just, it's a miracle.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It changed my life.
It's awesome how different cannabinoids can affect our bodies and work with our endocannabinoid system. And, Delta 8 is a type of THC molecule, so it helps really good with like inflammation and pain, and it helps you relax and sleep better. So it's good to see that you saw all the positive benefits with that. And a lot of people do have that misunderstanding. They have that judgment that cannabis products, specifically different THC products, are gonna make you lazy, make you unproductive, when they can help you. They can help people and everything. And you were able to use it in a positive way, and now you just kind of use it occasionally if needed. That's awesome. That's so cool to hear.
And I'm part of a Lyme disease group in Facebook. And it is it's depressing to be on there, because you get to see all of the people and what they're going through, and it's sad. But anytime somebody posts, hey, tell me, how did you get through depression and anxiety? I'm like, oh, CBD, like this stuff, you have to try it. And I have tons of friends that I've talked to about it. It just is.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And to take that and to compare to, and like you said, prescriptive medications, pharmaceuticals have their place. I mean, they're great. They can save lives, but it's using things that kind of nature gave us to help, less side effects, make you feel better. It's awesome. Awesome to hear.
I mean, this is called the Natural Med Podcast for a reason. So we are definitely behind all of that. And we love to see your success, and to see that something that we have, put a lot of effort into actually, showing, fruition and being beneficial for people. And the unique thing is that everybody that we've had on the podcast so far has used the products that we sell in the store, and they have had rave reviews about it. And it's just, what we're doing, I don't know, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, I'm actually doing something that's worth it. So.
Yeah, and it helps with that. You kind of talked about having a more balanced life. How do I go from being unbalanced to balanced? And with the CBD and even the Delta 8 products, you're letting your mind rest at night to kind of, recoup your thoughts. You're sleeping better. The inflammation's down. The pain is down. And so it's helping you rebalance your life and bring in that balance and order. So, it's definitely sounds like it's playing a good part there and everything to hold balance and everything.
And even just with the sleep, if I was going to give advice, somebody says my life is a mess, where do I start? Start with sleep. Your brain needs sleep.
Oh yes.
Start with sleep. It would be great if a person didn't take melatonin, but I take it. Maybe I don't have to take it, but I take it because I don't mess with my sleep. My kids know it's 10:30. Don't
mess with Mama.
Don't talk to me. Like,
she's got to get a rest.
Do not come in here and wake me up, because my whole day is not good the next day. I need that sleep. But your brain needs it. Your body needs it to relax you. And it would be great if you could have a full night's rest and your body actually get rested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I can be more productive, and I can think, and I can give more of, I do a lot. I'm part of the youth group at my church. I love that so much. I love those girls. It helps me, that's just one part of it, huge part of it. It helps me help them. It helps me help my kids. It helps me, at work, be a financial consultant and focus on what my clients are saying. Remember what they, there's a lot to know. So, giving the most suitable recommendation is just having a functioning brain is really important.
It is. It's like putting your mask on first on the airplane before you put it on, your child or somebody
Right.
next to you. You got to help yourself first before you can help others. It's so important.
Yeah.
Making sure you have a good foundation, a good healthy foundation before you help others. I mean, I see that all the time, as a nurse, myself as a nurse, other nurses. If you're not healthy yourself, you can't help your patients. It's very important in everything.
Yeah.
So Gina, let me ask you, because our listeners and viewers, they always like, secrets and tips and tricks. So what's something our viewers and listeners could do, maybe implement just something little on a daily basis to kind of help them live a more healthier life? Maybe that's mentally or something, to help with balance.
Oh boy, I have so many little tips.
Well, we can take a couple, but,
Okay.
Maybe one good one or two.
Oh boy, I have a lot. My brain's like, say this, say this, say this, say this. Okay, we're just gonna pick. I think definitely sleep, but I can't say that because I already said it. I feel like your identity. So knowing who you are, knowing who you're not, knowing who you want to be, just that realization in your mind of who you are will give you a direction of where to go. And then with that direction, knowing who you are to give you the direction, then you can rest and you can focus and not focus on the things that are not important, not try to help, places where you're not supposed to help. I think it's really your identity and having alone time to figure that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It gives you a start on trying
Where
to
am I
figure
going?
out, your
Yeah.
balance and the 7 pillars of your health and everything.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's
But can
awesome.
I sneak in a couple? So I mean, like your the food that you eat, super important. It's just little itty bitty tweaks. Just when you go to the grocery store, buy real food, buy more water. Like, don't buy junk food. You're messing up your gut. You're gonna mess up your brain. You're gonna mess up your life. Just don't buy it.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. Don't go to fast
Even if the
food.
kids are like, I want the Cheetos.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's easier, I think, than people. I think people are afraid of change, but it's actually easier than it's easier than we think. Just changing your beliefs, which changes your behavior, and then that's it.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm going to need you to use your brain again to answer this question, and you'd be amazed
I like
at
how
how
you put
people
that in
can
there.
get stumped by this. If you could pick one person, dead or alive, that you could have a conversation with or meet, who would that be and why?
Well, just so you know, I did watch all the podcasts that you guys did before this, so that I was prepared for that question. Lots of people. There is a doctor, Dr. Max Gerson, who I think I would pick him. He has an institute right now outside of the United States in Mexico because he's healing people of cancer, terminal cancers. He heals them. He does a detox with them, and he gives them all natural fruits and vegetables, juices, super intense vitamin C amounts, and he uses the earth to detox the body and cure them of terminal cancer.
Wow.
He's dead. Not sure how. I don't want to go there. But his practice is not allowed in the United States, and I would love to just hear from him. What were the obstacles and how did you get past them to make sure your legacy lived and you're helping people beyond your own life?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Great answer.
So Gina, tell us where we find your book. How do we order it or buy it?
So I have my Facebook account and I have the Instagram account. It's under ginamarie.co.
Okay.
Just trying to keep it separate from my name because I can't handle fame and I don't want to get too famous. So if you go there, and I have a Shopify store. My Shopify store has my book. I am adding more products. It's got some fidget toys and things, and it's got some shirts, and it's got a couple just, knickknacks here and there.
Yeah.
If you like it, you buy it. But it's really meant, my Shopify store, to house all the things that I believe in, my book. I'll be adding more products that I think will not only help the mind, but also help the brain. There's a very fine line between the mind and the brain, but they work together. There's scientists out there who are studying the difference between the mind and the brain. That's amazing to me.
Wow.
But so it's ginamarie.co. You could even search Use Your Brain book, and it's on my Shopify store right now.
That's
I'll be trying
awesome.
to get it into Barnes and Nobles and all that fun stuff. But I'm a
Yeah.
self-publisher to save money, so we'll see.
I love it. Well, thank you, Gina, for being on the show. It was so good to have you,
Thanks for
everybody.
having me.
Gina Schaefer.
Thank you.